The ink is barely dry on the birth certificate application, a document that weighs heavier than the Magna Carta, in the hands of two sleep-deprived amateur linguists.
It has to be perfect. It has to capture his essence.
He's been alive for 20 minutes. His essence is mostly crying and milk.
They stare at the newborn, a wrinkled, squalling bundle of infinite potential, and decide that John is simply an insult to the uniqueness of this DNA.
John? You want to name him John? We might as well barcode him.
Okay. No, John, this isn't a human being. This is a brand launch.
They begin the excavation of the alphabet, discarding the vowels that have served humanity well for millennia. Why use an I when a Y can do the job with twice the pretension?
Addison, with a Y.
Common, pedestrian. What if we replace the S with a Z?
Madison. It's electric, it's jagged, it looks like a weaponized consonant.
We see the rise of the Scrabble players, parents who seem to have shaken a bag of wooden tiles onto the hospital linoleum and accepted whatever chaos landed near the bed.
Capitals K-V-I-I-I-I, then lowercase L-Y-N.
That is Caitlin with the 8 sound spelled with Roman numerals.
Because nothing says suburban middle class like the decline of an empire.
Then come the archaeologists. These are the parents who own leather-bound books and smell faintly of nutmeg. They want a name with weight. They scour the dead languages, blowing dust off Sumerian clay tablets.
What about Theodoric or Vercingetorix?
A bit heavy for a baby who can't hold up his own head. He looks like a mashed potato.
He is a warrior king. He needs a title fit for beheading enemies in the mud of Gaul.
The irony, of course, is lost on everyone except the history teacher 15 years later. They pick a root word from an obscure dialect, thinking it means beloved princess.
It sounds melodic. Gorgonzola, the high priestess.
Usually, they haven't checked the alternate translations. It actually translates roughly to owner of many goats or blue cheese. Then we have the trailblazers, the pioneers of the unisex. They wish to shatter the glass ceiling by confusing the mailman. They start innocently enough: Jordan, Taylor, Morgan. But the addiction to neutrality grows.
I don't want labels, I want nouns. Strong, industrial nouns.
Diesel?
To gas station, how about brick or cannon?
They push too far. Naming children after geological eras or heavy machinery.
This is my daughter, Cambrian, and my son, Excavator.
There is a tragic history here. We look to the Puritans, those joyful souls of the 17th century, who treated naming children like writing a sermon on a grain of rice.
Come hither, Nicholas. If Jesus Christ had not died for thee, thou hadst been damned. Eat thy porridge.
His friends, mercifully, just called him damned. It was not a name, it was a sentence of religious guilt handed down before the first diaper change. Or his father, Praise God Barebone, a name that sounds less like a human and more like a command yelled during a tent revival. Then, history gives us the governor of Texas, James Hogg, a man of power and influence who looked at his beloved daughter and with a straight face.
I shall name her Ima.
Ima Hogg, a joke told at the expense of a helpless infant that lasted 80 years.
She will walk into every room introduced as a complete sentence. It is distinct.
We see the modern equivalents. The collision of celebrity culture and madness. The child named Audio Science. The child named Moxie Crime Fighter.
We want him to sound like a failed indie band.
Yeah.
Or a comic book sidekick, Pilot Inspector.
There is a court case in New Zealand where a judge had to intervene because parents named their child Tallulah Does the Hula from Hawaii. That is not a nickname. That is the legal designation. We are taking custody. You cannot name a child a limerick. Sweden had to block a couple from naming their child this.
It's pronounced Albin.
It's artistic expression. This is not naming. This is a cat walking across a keyboard. This is a cry for help. And what are the nature lovers? They ignore the ugly parts of nature. No one names their child swamp or fungus or mosquito. It's always predators.
Wolf, bear, hawk.
He needs to be wild. He needs to be an apex creature. Then they panic when little wolf bites another kid at daycare.
He's just expressing his spirit, but you can't cage a wolf.
They ignore the nominative determinism they set in motion. The parents think they are painting a masterpiece. They want their child to be the only one in the Google search results. But they forget the playground test. Tucker, it's a strong name. The cruel Darwinian arena of the elementary school recess. If a name can be rhymed with a bodily function, it will be.
What rhymes with Tucker?
Oh no.
If a name is too long, it will be truncated by a ruthless peer group into something manageable. Maximilian the Great becomes Max.
Seraphina of the heavenly host
Becomes Fina. The grandeur is stripped away by the efficiency of friendship. The parents spend 6 months debating syllables, consulting astrologers, and yet the child defines the name, not the other way around.
We named him Hunter, and we bought him camouflage onesies.
But if he is a vegan pacifist who cries when he steps on an ant, the name becomes a humorous footnote.
And we named her Grace?
But she trips over flat surfaces and knocks over vases in empty rooms. The name becomes an affectionate irony. My son, King. He grew up to work in middle management. The universe has a way of balancing the scales. So the ink dries, the form is filed. The nurse looks at the chart, squints at the spelling, and mispronounces it immediately.
Dr. Smith, we have little air wrecker here to see you.
It's Erica, spelled A-I-R-W-R-E-C-K-A. Why is that so hard?
It is the first of 10,000 times the child will have to correct a stranger. But they look at the baby, and in that moment, the name fits. To them, it is music. To the rest of the world, it is just another reason to double-check the spelling.
Wheels go around like a spinning top. Zoom in fast, then we make a stop. Doors swing open, hop on inside. Big yellow bus, it's a magic